things that I also didn't mention about a PTB. So I'll kind of go back just a little bit. I'm sorry, grab me at legs, Dan. I'm going to change my mind.
I got one fast.
So a PTB and a Delbe are the same thing, except for the Delbe you'll cut the foot out. So more molds that you have to put in. You're actually going to be molding around the medial and lateral malleoli, below them. And then you're still molding the patella tendon. And when you mold your patella tendon, the one thing I will tell you is be aggressive and push up. Don't push straight in, push up. And your femoral condyles. A lot of you were going a little bit low, more like the tibial condyles, femoral condyles. So you should almost look like this, like a giant U. Okay? PTBs will be more secondary treatments too. The only time it's ever really a primary treatment would be like for a tibial rotting or something. Really? Someone? Any other scissors somewhere? A little better. Oh, you know what? Off my head today. PTB, so that they can get their knee moving again. And then the Delbes, a lot of times, will be used for after a PTB. So secondary to a PTB.
Is that just so they can move the ankle at the same time?
It's just so they can start moving their ankle. A Delbe is kind of like a cylinder cast for the tibia. If I'm doing a Delbe, I will not cut this out. If I was doing a PTB, I would cut it out. But a Delbe, I'm going to leave it in. Also, with a Delbe, you don't have to get the foot at 90 degrees. That's why it's kind of your choice to use a stand or not with just a Delbe. But since it's basically a PTB, I'm going to show the PTB. I'm going to add the extra molds. This way you guys do get to see another PTB as well. Your web roll technique, a lot of you could get better. Nice, snug, smooth web roll. And I will pad. I don't like to go a whole lot in the back of the knee and wad it up if you don't have to. You know, pass as few times as you can back there. You're cutting it out anyhow, so it really doesn't make a difference. But you remember, you are going to be taking a saw back there. So I will make sure that my edges are padded. Now Tom does this, which I don't know why he started doing it in a 2 different casts technique. So he does like he'll do like a short leg and then extend up beyond the knee. Whenever I was in your class, he never did that for me. And when I worked with him, I never seen him do that. So I don't know when he started doing that, but he'll tell you that, and he'll show you probably his way of doing this. Mike, what do you do?
Oh, the whole thing. I don't like doing 2 pieces for nothing. Honestly. I had to fix one the other day.
Was it done in 2 pieces?
Yeah, long leg at 90 degrees, and she could just totally rotate her ankle while her leg was straight. The whole thing just broke. I won't tell you who rode that cast.
You want to try to steer away from doing extending a cast. Like, so if you're doing a long leg cast, remember I showed you do a short leg cast and extend it to a long leg? You know, you have 2 ways of doing that. If you don't have to, try to do it all in 1 piece.
Yeah.
But remember to stabilize the fracture first.
You always use 3" on the
No, I like to use 4.
Okay. 4
I'm just
foot.
using 3, yeah. I use 4 4-inch rolls before I stop. Sometimes 5. Again, I'm doing a PTB just to show you guys again, but in reality, this is going to be a Delbe. If you were doing this in plaster, which normally you will not, you will splint the areas that you're going to mold. Does that make sense? So I would throw a splint maybe this way, then maybe a splint over the top.
This is, like you said, this isn't a cast, you're doing some plastic typically.
Yeah, this is because it's weight bearing. Now, if I was really making a PTB, I'd probably go 1 more layer on this, the foot, or 1 more roll. I'm going to establish where I think my molds are going to be. So right here, and get her off the stand. Give me a blue towel. I got that. I'm going to grab right underneath each malleoli, lateral and medial malleolis. I'm pushing up on the patella tendon. Grab the femoral condyles. Now, Delbe doesn't matter what the foot's doing, because you're going to cut it out. You can actually see in the fiberglass, if I let go of my mold, the fiberglass down here shrinks. If I lift, see it kind of lift up just a little bit? It shows how hard I'm actually pulling up on her patella.
So you really want to crank up really hard.
Yeah.
Which mold do you think is more important, the PTB mold or the Delbe?
And don't forget your calf mold. I'm sorry?
Which mold is more important, or which do you put more of an emphasis on?
You got to have them all. The patella tendon, I know what you're trying to get at, but the patella tendon mold is probably the most important. But you really, truly, to do it correctly, you got to have it all. And even the calf mold, what you're doing there is just truly shaping the leg. The leg's not oval. It's triangular.
your marker, Sharpie.
Yeah, those are, I think I left it there.
You guys can all see those molds, right? They're pretty obvious. Again, you're cutting on the outside flare of the mold. Use a great pen. We got another one we can see. If you're going to err cutting, cut out too much. You don't want to cut out anywhere below the outside flare.
So you're saying cut above versus.
I will cut out above where I drew, slightly, on the upside of it. Now I am guessing on the top where I think my cut is going to be right there. I am guessing. There is nothing that's telling me, oh, I gotta go, there's no mold. You just got to allow for flexion extension. What? Full range of motion. Yeah? Whose was it? Top. One other thing that we're going to do this semester is a slipper cast, which is very similar to what I just rolled right here. Too much extra padding I left out there. Again, if you look at how much this digs into her when she extends. It's okay, that's what it's supposed to do. One of the biggest complaints we have is it's driving them nuts right here.
Extend underneath too much?
Well, it's supposed to limit extension. It's supposed to limit about 5 degrees, which isn't much. It's kind of hard to tell by the naked eye. Pretty cool. Again, limiting rotation. She can flex to 90 minimum. That's a minimum of what she has to be able to get to. She could probably go more because she has a nice thin leg. Now, money roll. Technically, all you need to do is tape it, but I would put a little bit of fiberglass maybe from here to here, because all you're doing is adding weight. This is your cast, right there. Anything you're adding on top of that is simply just for looks and adding weight. And this cast will slip down a little bit. So I tend to be very, very thin with this cast, with a Delbe. A PTB, I'll roll it much thicker, obviously, because it's got to be weight bearing. Any questions?
So they're not weight bearing on this?
No. They're weight bearing, but it wouldn't make a difference how thick you make it because
Oh, because
there's nothing on the foot. Any questions? You all got that? If you want to make your PTB a Delbe, you can do that. Just add the medial and lateral malleoli molds. And don't cut out your stockinette. Okay?
When you guys are cutting off a cow.